You're listening to MarceyLynn once again on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, your home for community radio.
Hey, thank you, Harry. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy American Black History Month. Yes, it's still American Black History Month. The shortest month, but American Black History Month. Today, I am so very humbled and honored to have my beautiful friend and sister and mentor and leader, Veronica Douglas Givan, here with me. It gives me chills just to say her name. She's here with me. I love her so much. Veronica, how are you today?
I am wonderful. I'm so glad to be here with you, sis.
Yes,
this is wonderful.
Queen.
Long
Yes.
time coming.
Yes, Queen. We always have those fly-by night conversations in the parking lots and wherever we end up together. And I actually have a chance to have the conversation with you I've always wanted to have.
This is awesome.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes.
So I wanted to start back with you. And I know right now you're dealing with education, and it's so very important. Tell me about exactly what you do and why.
So what I'm doing now?
Yes.
Okay. So right now I am the family advocate and community outreach coordinator at the New Haven Adult and Continuing Education Center.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? What does that mean at adult education?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm the person that helps those students who had challenges in the traditional system.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they couldn't make it through the traditional system.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional system. I can
Mm-hmm.
say it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they couldn't. I'm that person that helps them get through the threshold, to get over and make sure that they graduate by any means necessary.
That is absolutely fabulous. You know, I always say I give people that have a GED credit because they have to learn things that we really don't have to learn to graduate regular high school. Is that that's really true? Because I've noticed that a lot of people with GED have educational or classes that we didn't have to take.
Oh, yes. And the GED test is no joke. Make no mistake about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is no joke. You're talking about taking 12 years of information, doing it on the computer, and the math and everything that we learned or did not learn is there.
Yeah.
So for someone to pass a GED test, they have passed a test that is phenomenal.
Yes.
And they have really reached the goal. But we have so many other ways and tracks that you can graduate,
Yes.
whether you go through our high school credit program,
Yes.
whether you go through something called the NEDP program, National External Diploma Program.
Okay.
So there's other tracks that you can do to get your high school diploma, and you get a certified high school diploma from the New Haven public school system.
That is amazing. Now, how could somebody get into? I know people. Where's it located?
So it's right on the boulevard.
That is on the boulevard.
Yeah,
okay.
it's right on the bully. Everybody says
On the bully.
we're on the bully, crossing from the flea market. And it's been there for a while. There's talk of it moving, but we haven't moved yet. But it's becoming more of a state of the art type facility where people are able to come through, whether they are 17 or 70,
Yes.
and get their high school diploma.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So if you're listening and you're one of those people, please reach out. You'll get information later
Yes.
at the end. We'll make
Yes.
sure we give information on that.
Definitely.
It's just amazing that a lot of people out here are not reading and they're scared to go forward. But there's places like that and people like you and I that are willing to help them.
Oh, without a doubt. And
Yes.
you're right. There are people that can't read. I met a gentleman who said, he goes to church every Sunday, but he knows the Bible because someone taught him the Bible, but he can't read it.
He can't read it.
He can't read it. He can't read the words.
Mm.
But he actually came and went through our system and got his high school diploma, and now he's reading it with authority.
Yes.
Not just reading what somebody told him that's in the book.
That's
but
an
now he's reading
amazing
it with
testimony.
authority. Yes.
That's an amazing
Absolutely.
testimony. Amazing.
Absolutely.
So that's just see yourself in it.
Yes.
See yourself in it. See yourself on the other side of it. Now, do they also is there some place that does languages as well?
So
I'm being
we have
told,
so we have students from in that building. There are students from more than 89 countries.
Oh, jeez. Yes.
Yes.
Jesus.
So we have people coming from everywhere
Wow.
to get their high school diploma or to improve their English or to get their citizenship as well.
Okay.
So those are the different things that happen, and there's always something going on where people are able to change the trajectory of their lives.
Oh, yes.
They just have
yes.
to want it.
Yeah.
And they come every morning and they want it.
You got to reach for it. You
Yes.
got to reach for it.
Absolutely.
And not be discouraged, because we're going to continue to encourage our people and people in general just to better themselves.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
It helps with your mentality. And of course it helps with your demeanor. And then, you bring this light that may have been dark before. And all of a sudden people go, what changed in you? So it's important for people to see the change in people.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what those things can do.
And what people don't realize is when you support someone at the New Haven Adult Education Center, you're supporting someone in the school system.
Yes.
Because they have a grandchild,
Yes.
they have an auntie, they have a child
Yes.
that goes to New Haven Public Schools.
Yes.
So if they're not reading, if they're not home on the computer,
Yes.
if they're not getting the skills they need, then something's lacking at home.
Yeah.
So we're actually helping the entire family,
Yes.
which is why my title is Family Advocate, because I reach out to the entire family.
That is amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It just makes such a difference.
Thank you.
You've made such a difference in my life, because I've always watched you in the media portion of it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, where did she go? Where did she go? Where did she go? But then, I get to see you all the time, and I realize you have a beautiful, wonderful son who performed at, when Tony Harp had his.
Oh, yes. When I got
Tony
the
Harp-
key to the city.
Yes, when you got the
Yes,
key
he
to the city.
did.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you
Such
so much.
a beautiful baby. Just
Yes.
beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So you dedicated your life to him out of media. Tell me more about that.
So
Making
the
that
media,
decision and how hard it may have been.
yes, it was tough, but the media is always going to be in me.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated and went to Northeastern University.
Okay.
In Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I got my master's summa cum laude from Quinnipiac University, where I received a full fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
So the business has always been in me. I've been working in the business since I was a little child.
I was going to say, yeah.
Playing action news at the kitchen table.
Okay.
So for me to have worked there for 20 plus years, and starting out as an intern and then working at the Sally Jesse Raphael show and the national opportunity and platform I had, it's always going to be there, which is why I have the Veronica Douglas Media Agency,
Yes.
which allows me to help people tell their stories.
Yes.
Because a lot of agencies don't know how to tell their stories, are looking for opportunities to tell their stories.
Yes.
So we're taking that to a whole nother level.
That's wonderful, because we need that. We definitely need that. Like someone like me needs to know more about people that are in media, and, just watching you too. And then, tell me about being at the foundation of, like, I call it WTNH, but Channel 8 News,
Wonderful. You know what? Always will be family. That will. I was just featured on Wednesday's Warriors recently,
I saw that, yeah.
And it was like going home doing that interview. It was
I
like
know.
really going home. So that will always be home for me.
Yes.
News Channel 8, ABC, the relationships that I developed there
Yes.
still help me. People still call on me and say, Veronica, what about this? Or can you help me get into Channel 8 to do that? Or
Yeah.
I need to get in for an interview or something like that. And I'm still able to pick up the phone and call just about anyone there. And that's because of the relationship that we developed, an awesome relationship. And got to say hi to all of them, because they are truly, truly family, and I couldn't do this work without them. So yeah, I got to say what's up to them. But it's about having the passion for the business and understanding that once you have the passion for the business, it comes from radio. WIBC, that was like back in the 90s when I was there, growing up and in between doing television, in between doing radio and television. So it started with television. It started with that.
Okay.
It started as an intern. And I want to express that to anyone listening. If you're thinking about getting in this business, you have got to do an internship.
Yes.
Unless your daddy owns the company.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Unless your daddy owns the company.
You gotta
need
watch
to
and learn.
You have to watch and learn.
Be
And that's what I
quiet.
had an opportunity to do. I had a chance to watch Keith Koontz. I had a chance to watch Diane Smith and Ann Nyberg and all the greats and Bob Bacozzi and all those folks. I had a chance to watch them as I was working. And then I had a chance to watch Sally Jesse Raphael when she had her show here. And I was an intern there for a while before I went on to New York City to work for the show. So I would tell them that don't see it as, oh, I'm working for free. No, see it as an opportunity to learn from the greats.
Yes. don't, I hear people say that all the time, oh, internship, I don't want to do that for free. I said, do you realize what you're getting is more valuable than money?
Exactly.
People don't understand that you have to watch and learn.
Watch and learn.
Not, well, like you said, daddy owns the company, but at the same rate, it's still not in you. It has to be in you. Doesn't have to be forced into you. And if it's not for you, then it's not going to be for you. It's not going to be, the steps are not going to be there.
Right.
Yeah. Because I was telling you, I didn't expect this. I was just going to go, okay, Jose's done with the morning show. And he's like, no, you take my slot. I'm going, wait, Harry, is that okay? Harry's like, yeah. I'm like going, okay. So I had to think through. I stopped, watched before I came back in January. I'm like, I got to make sure that I'm ready for this and make sure I have my focus right. And that's something I learned from watching you.
See,
and watching other people and go, look, I have to just, I have to be ready. I have to be ready. I'm not going to come up here and just be fly by night, fly by the seat of my pants type thing. So that's why I made it different. I said, I want to learn from people.
That's absolutely.
And I want people to learn from the interviews that I do, or not even interviews, the discussions I have. It doesn't have to be an interview. It was just a discussion that I haven't been able to have because we had never sat down and ate. We never sat down at a table.
Yes, at the table.
So, So tell me about more about Sally, Jesse.
Oh, well, you know what? That was a wonderful time in my life. I worked at Sally when I was an intern and through Northeastern University, which is the co-op program at Northeastern.
Yes.
So that was one of the experiences where I was allowed to be a co-op student and also get paid for that opportunity.
Okay.
And that's when she was right here on Elm Street before leaving to move on to New York City. So while I was at a Elm Street, I actually went behind the scenes and said to the reporters and said to the anchors, do you mind if I watch?
Yes.
Do you mind if I listen? Do you mind if I learn? And took those opportunities to reach out to them. And that's how Veronica Douglas, were on the news channel 8, they call me Ronnie Douglas, got known there and was able to build my resume. And then when Sally took off to New York, I took off to New York with her. But when it was time to come back home, I was able to come back home, and the position was waiting for me, a nighttime position where I started working evenings and worked my way up from intern to director of special projects, which was a managerial position at 8. And then one day God decided it was time for me to go in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when Wednesday's Child was rebirthed, because it was already born. Oh. It was already born, but it was rebirthed. And the news director said to me, well, what are you thinking about doing next? And I said, what about Wednesday's Child? I think I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
He said, well, go out and shoot one for me. Let me see what you got.
Yes.
And I went out and I shot one for him, brought the tape back, and he said, yes, why don't you start next week?
That's wonderful.
Let's start doing
We need
this.
to bring that back. We really do. I think that'll be encouragement for a lot of the children. We need to bring it all the way back and maybe just make it a whole feature thing for a lot of the kids.
Yeah, I actually miss it. Yeah,
it's something that we need to instill in the kids to show that there is some gratitude, to doing the things that you need to do as a child, because I think a lot of that is lost now.
Some of it, it is.
Yeah,
you're right.
A lot of that is lost. But it's so exciting. I don't know how. We've done all these things, or you've done all these things, because you're just 30,
I wish.
You're just 30.
30. That's
okay.
all. I'm just 30.
Just 30.
That's it.
Listen, there's not going to be that many candles on my birthday cake.
That's right. You have a birthday coming up.
I do. My 51st is coming up, and I'm going to celebrate my 50th. Last year, my 50th birthday present was my granddaughter.
Yeah.
So I took all that money that I had for this big old bash and spent it on her because it made more sense, and I had to, because first grandchild, it's a girl. That type of thing.
Exactly.
So now I'm going to do it up this year. I'm really going to do it up next Friday. So I'm excited about that. I hope you're coming.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
Have your dancing shoes on.
Yes.
And if you don't have your dancing shoes on, just have some good stockings.
Gotcha. Okay. Come out of those shoes.
And don't even wear the
Patti
bottom.
LaBelle.
Don't wear the shaper, because you're not going to be able to listen. You're going to have to take that bad boy off with the food that I'm having. Yes. But it's so wonderful to just know your history. Tell me more about being a mom.
Oh, man. It brings tears to my eyes. I waited. Some of my friends like, oh, girl, why you wait so long? Listen, when I go to Disney World now, I'm not thinking about being in the club.
No.
Because I can concentrate on him and let him have his good time at Disney World, and we have a good
Yeah.
time as a family.
Yeah.
As a family, we have a great time. My
Yeah.
husband, my son, and myself. So I don't feel like I waited. I feel like it was time for me to do it when I did it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was time for me that God said, it's time for you to be a mom now. And I wanted to be a full-time mom. I didn't want to have a nanny raising my child.
No.
Because who knows what that would bring. So my DNA, my genes are in him, so I wanted to raise him,
Yes.
which is why I left the business because, again, breaking news and a child, unless you, like I said, got a nanny sitting at home or a lot of resources, which I didn't have resources then. My mom had full-blown Alzheimer's when my son was born. So she didn't even know his name. So I had to deal with that. So it was really difficult at that time. But I tell you, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't do it any differently.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it any differently because he is my peace. He is a mini me. He is
He is. Yes, he is. Outgoing. He's just outgoing. He
He's
has that
full of-
beautiful, bright light.
Yeah, he's beautiful. But he's an organizer, and he's very, very, and he is his daddy's child as well because he's very organized.
All right.
Planner, organized,
Yeah.
everything put together. Yeah, so the best of both worlds come together. So I am so happy to be able to share life with someone. Like I'm
Yes.
honored to be his mother. I'm honored
Beautiful.
to be able to call myself his mother.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
So
beautiful.
you know how that feels.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. My daughter does wonderful things academically, and it's just like whenever I get that letter from the state, I go, "Yes, baby girl, yes."
Yes. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No. Yes.
I can't tease her about, because the teenagers live in dungeons now. They don't even have rooms. There's no light anywhere. So I can't even tease her about that. I am very proud to be my daughter's mom. We go through our things. She has a baby, but she's just a beautiful person. I know she has struggles, but she's still mine.
Right.
And
That's
Lord
it.
knows she's mine.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's
Listen,
it.
some
Yes.
people out there say, "Yeah, she is yours."
And you know it. Yes. Yes.
And
So
your
he's
son is
13
like that,
yet. Yeah. He's
He's
13 now.
13. Wow.
I know. Right. Time is just.
Wait a minute. He's 13. Yeah. Okay. Love's 15. Yeah, that works.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
13 now, and now we're looking at high schools, which is a scary time to be searching and researching high schools and wanting to see what's out there, what's best for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what we're doing right now because
It's
even though
given-
he's only in the
given-
7th grade, we
Give
got
them
to
that
look now.
independence time now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, mom's gonna let you make this decision, kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Especially, I don't know male child, so I can imagine it could be a little bit more difficult with the male
Yeah,
child.
with the male child. Yeah, definitely. When you think about everything that's happening in the world and we have
Yes.
a
Yes.
male child.
Now
you
we're
wanna-
at it. It doesn't matter now, unfortunately.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't.
Yeah,
And it's sad
scary.
to say. It's scary. Yes,
It's
it
very,
is.
very scary.
It
It's
is.
just-
It is. You can instill the values. You can do everything you can, and something can still happen and go wrong.
Yeah.
So it saddens me to think about it. But we're just going to keep them covered in prayer.
Of course.
And then let them know that all things are
course.
possible.
All things.
All things.
And I always say, tragedy is actually a ministry. There's something in you that, makes your ministry, the miseries that you go through, a ministry. You have to look at the lessons to keep sanity. And sometimes you can't look at the lessons to see it at that time. But later down the road, like with things that have happened in my life, later down the road, I realized there was a purpose to
There
that.
was a lesson. Yeah.
It hurt like hell. But so, it's a lot. It's a lot to try to explain to these kids now, or moms that are losing, their kids, or fathers that are losing their kids, or kids that are losing their fathers and moms. It's just, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So we just have to stay encouraging. And I think, love is a really good answer, but love with work. Just
Love
like faith with
a
work.
lot of work.
Just
Yes.
like faith with work.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
so faith with work and love with work. So
Yes,
those two
gotta
things.
do the work.
And that's something I know you do on a regular basis.
Yes, we
So-
do the work, sis. We do the
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
and the work is becoming more intentional because it has to be, and more it's relevant and relatable,
Yes.
and also it's very intentional because when I think about the journey that I've been on, and I love the fact that you called me the media mate. What did you call me? The media something.
Media queen lady.
Yeah.
Leading lady.
Leading lady
Yes.
of media.
That's my leading lady.
And I thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And that's because of the opportunities that I've been given, but there was no glass ceiling. And
No.
if there was one, I kept punching through it until I got to where I wanted to be. And now thinking about now that my son is older, there's some time to come back around and do some more of that work.
Yeah.
So you're going to be hearing some more from me
Yeah,
as
so-
we do that work.
You know I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
definitely.
Both hands up. I got you. Whatever you need, I can help you with.
Thank
And
you,
I'd love
sis.
to just be right, like just put me under your wing. You don't have to do too much.
I feel it. And, you know, being here, just watching this evolve
Yeah.
from where it was, that little newspaper to where it is now.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing.
It's
I love
amazing.
it. I love it. I used to be on the board when it first started.
Yeah.
And now to see where it has come from is amazing, and I love it. I'm glad you're behind the mic.
It's amazing,
doing your
and
thing,
I
sis.
love it, and I always have loved it. They've always been very supportive of the things that we do as the People's World, as an individual, like weekly newspaper, and they also, you know, have always been very, very inclusive. They're everywhere.
Everywhere.
If you don't see Lucy, you see Paul, you just see somebody.
Yeah,
Somebody from New
exactly.
Haven Independent is going to be there.
Exactly.
You know, matter of fact, let me just let everybody know that you're listening to 103.5
Yes.
WNHHLP. MarceyLynn, once again. New Haven Independence Community Radio. I said community radio. So guess what?
What?
The community is listening. So it's
Hi,
important for
community.
people to get you back
Yes.
out there. You know, everybody know that Veronica is here. Veronica is one of the originals here. I just like I said, every time I talk about it, it's just I get tingles because I'm
Thank
just like
you.
I just love you so much. And
Thank you. I love
so
you too.
inspiring. And, you know,
we've always had a connection.
Yes, always.
It's just been natural. Yes, it's just
Yeah.
been natural.
Yeah.
So I am so glad to see you on the other side of the microphone. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And continue to tell the stories. Continue to have those
have to.
conversations.
I have to because I have been led to. I took myself out of this show. I mean, I know it says MarceyLynn once again, but I always say MarceyLynn once again because I'm bringing somebody else out. This is our show. This is the community show. This is New Haven's show. Let me know the people that you want to know more about, and I'll ask the questions, or I'll ask them to tell me the questions, because there's things that we don't know about a lot of people. Like I said, non-Googleable stuff. But even non-Googleable stuff, some people aren't going to Google.
Right.
Okay, some people are audible people.
Yes.
Their books are audible. Okay.
Yes.
So it's really good to know that people are just, they're inspired. And I really think that I want to just continue encouraging as long as I can.
That's great.
And speaking of encouraging, tell me some of the small things that you did in between WTNH and Sally Jesse Raphael, and then what exactly your media company is working on now, so people can have an idea of what they can reach out to you for.
Well, let me start with giving them the websites, www.veronicadouglasmedia agency and .org. And right now I have been asked to come out and talk about what it is to communicate, because our young people need to know. They're talking, but they're not communicating.
The socialized talking acronyms.
See, yes, exactly. So heading up to Boston to do a 2-day seminar on communication skills, one-on-one. And I also didn't get a chance to mention to you that I also teach at the University of New Haven,
Okay.
principles of communication. So that it's been important because our young people need to know how to communicate. They need to know how to walk in the door,
Yes.
even through COVID, and be able to shake someone's hand
Yes.
and introduce themselves,
Yes.
and be able to have the skills, a blueprint
Yes.
to not only get the job, but to keep the job and to follow through with a career.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we're not teaching that in our
Not at
schools.
all.
We're not teaching that in our schools. So we have got to learn that and teach our students that. So that's one of the things that I've been doing, and utilizing that opportunity to have a platform to show students, here's how you communicate.
Yes.
Here's how you listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a part of communication.
Of course.
People don't think that listening is a part of it.
It's a big part.
It's a huge part of the communication process. And you've got to be able to be a good listener.
Mm-hmm.
So we take them back to the ABCs of listening, of communicating, of speaking, of acknowledging, and of making sure that their voice is heard.
Oh, wow. That's needed. We need to do something like that. Just literally in the grammar schools to the high schools. We need something like really. Oh, look. Harry has a wonderful picture of you up on the screen of all your media agency.
Thank
Look
you.
at that.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Harry. I
So if you
appreciate
guys get a
it.
chance to look up on Facebook, New Haven Independence page, you'll see this interview along with, usually you're able to go to YouTube and just look up MarceyLynn. All my shows will come up, but this one specifically should be there hopefully today. And it's just, oh, wow, look at that walk. Just looking at the walk of Veronica. It's like the walk in the, you know, we have always, let's talk about our hair. You're one of my hair inspirations. We always have to do something different with our hair. So you don't pay attention to the color because you don't know if it'll be pink tomorrow. That's one of those things. But we have always talked about hair and different things.
Yeah.
So in media, you know, like you've never like acclimated to what people probably might have think or society thinks your hair is supposed to look like. And we just always been that beautiful, flamboyant. We're going to be Diana Ross in it.
Who we are.
Yes, yes, yes.
Being important, and you know what? It's important to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we've come a long way when it's come to hair and to hair care and to being unapologetically Black.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it's still a question behind the scenes and in front of the camera what we should look like.
Yes.
But I have to say that I was always blessed to be able to be unapologetically me. Because if you want me to be authentic and be able to get through to my people, because I know how to get through to my people,
Your people, yeah.
and make sure that I can share their stories, then you have to let me be me. And that's who I've always been able to be, unapologetically me.
Yeah, and it makes it easy for like people like me because I'll have my afro on, like next week, my afro, whatever color I want it to be next week. And then maybe the next week I'll have gray hair. It's just whatever I want to be. And it makes me more comfortable. It makes everybody probably more comfortable with me that I'm that type of a person. And a lot of that I get from just saying, I'm just going to be me. And you showing me that I could be me. Because a lot of people think you have to be this, you have to do that. You have to be a size 2 and you have to be, you know, wear this and don't wear loud colors because you're larger. What? I'm wearing the loudest color I can. Let's have a parade. Let's play a parade of color.
The color in our skin looks wonderful together. Looks wonderful together.
I love color.
And it's all about the package and putting together a full package.
What you bring.
Yes.
What you bring.
Exactly.
What you bring is excitement and love every time I see you. And it just seems like it's in media. It just, what can we do to get Wednesday's Child back? What steps can we take?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I'm not on the inside anymore of that, so I have to say that you would probably have to send letters to WTNH and ask that it come back.
Yeah.
DCF is also a part of it. DCF brought the students, the young people to the table each and every week. So it was a wonderful ride, but it has to be sponsored. I have to have someone sponsor.
Sponsorship, yeah.
Sponsorship is key. So if there's someone out there who really sees that they really want it to come back, then reach out to DCF, reach out to WTNH, and say we'd like to have it back, and come with some dollars to say that we'd like to see this come back.
Yes.
Because sponsorship is key. It was sponsored by Casey Family Services when I was doing it.
Okay.
And Casey Family Services is no longer around. So things change and people change, but you never know what could happen. You never know what could come back based on the need for it and people saying we'd really like to see this. So it's www.wtnh.com. They can get the word out and share that they'd like to see Wednesday's Child come back. They'd like to see Veronica Douglas come back. You know, you never know.
Yeah, I would love to see that come back. One of my dreams is to have a house. When my daughter was going through her pregnancy, I had to. Every time I went, they were like, you're amazing, you're amazing. They would tell me about the 13 and 14-year-olds that would come by themselves to their appointments. And it, in my heart of hearts, I know there's somewhere out there I could make a house for those kids. You know, that don't have the supportive parents, or don't have parents at all, or they're living couch pregnant. And I'm going, Jesus, just knowing that. And even, you know, if the mother and father want to be together and they're being drawn apart because of parents or drugs or alcohol addiction, helping them do that, or helping them during their pregnancy if they have an addiction. That's like a place that I want to have for teenage pregnancy moms, things like that. And because it's different out there now.
It's real different.
It's like there's no respect. And I think the lack of respect for their lives is something that Wednesday Child could bring back to these kids that, you know, think that they're nothing because they don't have anyone. And they don't realize that they have us because they don't have an opportunity to see us now on the forefront. They might go, oh, I'm not going to talk to her because, you know, this, that, and the other. She's going to you got to be non-judgmental.
You have
and there's
to be
so
a
many people
non-judgmental zone.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
okay, this is a judgment-free zone. Come on in.
Right.
You know, and I really I see myself having that type of a house for that. And then maybe another one for the, you know, boys that have a situation. There's so many homeless teens.
Oh, I deal with homeless teens every single day at adult education. I'm on the phone with 211 daily because we have teens that have no place to go tonight. I mean, I know it's beautiful outside now, but there's been some horrific nights where I had teens sitting in my office with no place to go as the clock is ticking, and we're trying to find them someplace. The shelters are full. The teen shelters are full. And no teen, and I say this again, and anybody out there who's a politician, a legislator, should listen to this. No teen should be at an adult shelter.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. The things that they see, the things that they go through should not happen. So when I work with my youth and my young adults who are homeless, first of all, we try to make sure they have a phone.
Oh, definitely. Like
any type of phone, so that they can reach out to us in the late night hours when they're staying at the train station and at the subway until the subway closes, or they know the places to stay. Yeah, they know it.
They have the spots.
They know the spots. Exactly. But I'm able to help them through the work that I do each and every day. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more affordable housing. So that our teens can have a place to stay and more shelters to help them, because it's really sad. It really is
horrific.
Right. The whole situation is horrific.
It is. And, you know, we just have so much waste. You know, I see waste on a daily basis just in general. And to know that waste can be transformed.
It can be.
Into, you know, sustainable properties, or, you know, whatever we need to do to take these people out of their situations. Sometimes it's hard. I mean, I have had people that, you know, dealing with homeless for so long that just cannot live in an apartment because they've been out there so long, but at least give them four walls, or, you know, four pieces of wood or something.
To keep warm. Yes.
But it's just amazing that when I see the teens, it's just heart-wrenching. Or I see the families, the male and female families with babies and dogs and stuff, you know, out there because they don't want to separate. Right. So we just need to be more focused, just humane, just on humanity, period, right now. That's what's going on.
Remember that there are people attached to these issues.
Yes. And you're just out in the forefront of those things. So and we got from Wednesday Child to this, and it's amazing because everything's connected. And if you realize that the conversations that Veronica and I are having are leading us to other places, because everything is connected when it comes to media. And when you have a voice, you need to use your voice to help others.
Use your voice to the fullest.
Yes.
And that's what I attempt
and allow
to do.
people to listen.
Absolutely.
You know, allow them to listen, give them a way to go back to it. And if you go, okay, well, wait, I'm able to go to YouTube or to New Haven Independent and say, well, I want you to watch this show. You might not have seen it, but I want you to watch this because there's some valuable information here that can help you. So that's one of the things that I noticed that you had done in the past when you were really in media, and it's just amazing. I would love to. Hello, Wednesday Child. Let's work on getting that back. Okay, Wednesday Child.
People, you know, everywhere I go, and my son has watched segments of it on DVD. He's looking at a DVD player like, what's this thing? Okay. Like, that's a DVD. That's a VHS tape.
Like, what am I supposed to do with that?
And he watches Mommy and says, wow, Mommy, I didn't realize you did this, Mommy. And that's why people come up to you every day and they didn't forget.
Mm-hmm.
They don't forget.
They don't.
They don't forget. When you do the work and the work is real, people
Yes.
don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
People don't forget you. So
You're not supposed to, you know.
No.
And hopefully, you know, they will remember you and others like you forever.
Because I'm not going anywhere.
You're Black history.
Thank you so much, sis.
Her story, this story, now story, what's up and coming story.
Thank you.
And you're definitely part of my story.
I appreciate
So
it.
tell me about your hubby.
Oh, he's my light. He's my light. He allows Veronica to be Veronica. Go ahead and be your bright self.
Yes.
Go ahead and be your bright self, because I think it's important and we're opposites. Opposites attract.
Yeah.
Yeah, opposites attract. So he is my peace. He is my peace. He really is my peace. Givan is my peace. And he allows me, like I said, to be Veronica, because he knows that the light is so big you can't dim it. And he doesn't even try to.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even try to. People try to dim it, but he never tries to dim it.
You said
He just-
Givan, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right now.
Yes.
I was like, that's
It's
not
Givan or Givan.
Givan.
Yes.
Givan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. You just, it's just like this light when you just said he's my light. And I'm like, oh, I remember those days.
Yeah.
I'm going to get back to him. God's already got something for me.
See,
So I'm
that's
just
it.
waiting for that.
That's right, sis.
I don't
It's
have
in the
time. I
works.
just got to wait. I just got to wait. Be patient. Be
That's it.
patient. Just stop trying to put your hands and stuff.
See, leave it alone. Yeah. We always do that. We always put our hands in it and then wonder what happened, because we don't put our hands all in the
We
pot.
messed it up.
See.
We done messed it up for ourselves. So we could talk a little bit about education right now and what you see is needed in our community for, like, just to make it a little lighter for the high school. Your son's getting ready to go to high school. What can we do as a community to help these students while they're in school, besides get more educators that really are into education? Going back to the fact that I think that the teachers should make the police pay and the police should make the teachers pay, so they can really have to do their jobs. You know, like really they'll have the money to do their jobs and they'll really like doing it. You know, and then we'll be able to get the ones with the education and they can pay their student loan bills. You know, so that's the
Right.
big thing.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know, we need to get back to home ec.
Mm.
We need to get back to learning how to fill out a checkbook. We need to get back to those basics that we learned when we were in school,
Mm-hmm.
and how to count change. I mean, I sometimes go through a drive-through to pick up a salad, and I hand the gentleman it's $2.51, and I hand him a penny, and it throws them off.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that something?
It throws them off because they don't know how to count. And that is real. So we need to get back to the basics so that we can make sure that when our students do graduate and segue into high school, they're prepared for school and for life. Right now, they're not prepared. They're not prepared.
For real
And-
life, they're prepared for media life, which is not going to happen for most of them, unfortunately.
So yeah, so all the TikTok and all that stuff is good to know, and believe me, I'm on all platforms because I have to be.
Me too.
But that's not going to be what helps you every single day to learn how to keep up your home and learn how to keep up your family and make sure that your family has what they need to survive. So we need to get back to the basics.
Back to the
And we need to
basics.
get back to the basics early on, before high school. And that's one of the things that I see that's missing in the educational system, getting back to those basics.
Yeah, and the kids don't even know how to sign their signature. Like, who made that
No.
decision? Like, who made
that decision
take away
not to
cursive?
take cursive writing?
Cursive. Like, I came from. My mom still has the encyclopedia. You remember the encyclopedia?
Oh,
with
yeah,
Canada?
definitely,
You were
yes.
rich if you had them. You know,
Exactly,
We still
yes.
have them by the mantle, by the fireplace. The originals.
The originals, yes.
Take the time to look stuff up.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
you can Google everything, but sometimes you need to read it so you can implement it a little bit easier. So I just say, you could Google it, but how are you going to implement it? If it does, you can look up examples, but how can you be that example?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
How can you do it? A lot of it, you can't do it. you
Right.
know.
And that's what needs to happen. There needs to be tangible things that our students need to know how to do. And unfortunately, we are really doing them a disservice by taking away those types of programs. So we need to bring that back. And we don't need to wait until we get to an adult education. And I'm going to tell people all the time, adult education needs to be shut down, because if you were to give them what they needed in high school, there'll be no need for an adult education.
Okay.
There'd be no need for it. But there's a need for it now because they're not getting the tools they need in school to succeed.
And schools are pushing out for numbers.
Exactly.
They're pushing out for numbers because they don't want to be like Stone Academy, where, you know, like we have the situation now with Stone Academy with the nursing program.
Just shut it down and just close.
Just close because people weren't making the grades. It doesn't make sense to me because that's obviously a fallback on the faculty. You know?
Absolutely.
So,
and they get an email saying your school is going to close. Can you imagine?
Listen, the money that it costs. And Stone's been around for a long time for it to close. You know, it's just, you would think that a foundational school like that, because remember, Stone was the thing back in the day when it was in Hamden.
Back in the day.
Yeah, when it was in Hamden over in that building that's child care now. It was really like the place, oh, you need to go to Stone Academy to do this trade. We need to get back to the trades. You talking about home ec? How about the trade schools?
Your trade schools,
kids don't know how to be carpenters. They don't know how to put nails.
Carpenters make money.
They don't even know how to put batteries in the fire detector. It's just amazing. You know, like, okay, there's little things that they need to do. But we're right now, we're in the, I know how to microwave and twerk.
It's
sad.
It's real, but
it's sad, but it's real. I hate to be that simple about it, but that's where we're at. So women like yourself and myself want to teach different things, but it's just hard to get the kids to listen. You know, so we have to use their venues to get them to listen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we need to use, their venues to get them to listen. And we need to help them understand that we do respect them.
Yes.
And we do respect their voices. And I tell people that, young people, that all the time, I love your voice and I want to hear your voice, which is why they come to me and they want to hear and they want to learn.
Yes.
But they need to know that we do respect them, because they automatically think that, oh, they can't respect me because my daddy didn't. Or because my mom didn't. I mean, I had daddy issues.
Daddy and mom.
I had it. I know what it's like. But I'm so grateful today that I have forgiven my biological father for not being there. I share that story wherever I go. I shared that story in Cheshire Correctional Facility, and there wasn't a dry eye in the room. I shared that story because I had to share with them that there's some little girls home waiting for you to get home.
Yes.
There's some little boys home waiting for you to get home, and they're mad and they're angry. And guess what? They deserve to be mad and angry. So you need to allow them to have that, to process that feeling. Get home and show them. And then let them see you and the change that you're trying to make.
Yes.
Don't be upset with them because they're upset.
No.
Don't be upset with them. I remember sometimes waiting for my dad to come by, and he would say, I'm going to be there at 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, show up. They never showed up. But I had a wonderful, wonderful God-sent daddy who raised me. He raised me. Jesse Douglas gave me a name.
Okay.
He gave me a name that I could keep. And I'll never, ever drop that name. That's because Jesse Douglas raised me.
Yes.
And he raised me when my biological father couldn't raise me. But I one day had an opportunity to fly to Atlanta and see my biological father and forgive him for not being there.
There you go.
And that forgiveness wasn't for him. It was for me.
For you. Yeah.
It was for me. And it was a wonderful, wonderful journey. But that's on the next show when you have me back. So I can tell you about that journey, because that journey opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be able to share and talk about what it's like to have daddy issues.
Mental Health May.
Yeah.
The Mental Health May.
Okay.
I have a lot of exercising and different things to center you coming up. And
terrific.
May is going to be my Mental Health May.
Wonderful.
And I want people to share their tragedies and not be afraid to tell the entire story.
Yes, the entire story.
Because there's somebody out there that needs to hear it.
Definitely.
So give everybody your contacts, or what do they call it? What do the kids call it? Give me everybody your whatever. They call it something. But give everybody all of your information.
So Veronica Douglas Media Agency on all platforms for me. And for those who would like to go back to school to get their high school diploma or their GED or to learn English or to get their citizenship, they can go to www.nhaec.org and register there. Now, if they have a problem with a computer or they don't have a computer, all they need to do is call 203-492-0213 and someone can assist them with that process.
Wonderful. And you guys can listen to this again, or look at us or watch us again on New Haven Independence Facebook page, or you can go sometimes, I think it should work this time, but if you go to YouTube and just look up MarceyLynn, don't forget the E, MarceyLynn.
Okay.
You should be able to pull up my shows, and usually you're able to just watch them again. You fast forward through them to get the information if you need it.
Terrific.
And you can always find me at MarceyLynnJones.com. And if you can't find me there, then you will find me here on Thursday at 11 a.m. Or you can just hit me up on Facebook, MarceyLynn Jones. And Veronica, I love you.
I love you too, sis.
I want
Just because you're you.
Let everybody know how much you bless me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love the music too. That beat is hot.
That's forever. Forever, ever.
Oh, well,
She's a local artist. Yeah, forever.
Oh, right. I like
Yes.
that, sis.
Jamelia James. Yes, yes,
All
yes.
right.
Yes.
I'm liking that.
That's one of her first songs. I helped her with the video.
All right.
But yes. I got my baby. That's my baby. That was my first guest.
See? Nice. Loving that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. I truly appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. Again, we have Veronica Douglas Givan.
Thank you.
I
Thank
got it
you so
now.
much. Yes. Thank you,
Yes.
Connecticut.
I can
We
correct
appreciate
everybody
you.
now.
That's it.
Thank you,
That's it.
Connecticut. Thank you, Community Radio. Thank you, New Haven Independent. And thank you, Harry Dross. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah.